Now, let me get into, before we get into like a search and start digging into people on LinkedIn, I want to talk about the differentiation between LinkedIn and other social networks. We showcase the amplification of your network, the linear connections that you have in your network. So say you and I are not connected on LinkedIn, but you're connected to her and she's connected to her. Once you and I connect, you become a first level connection, direct connection, like friends. You become a connection of a connection, second level connection, you become a connection of a connection of a connection, third level. You and I join a group together, we can see everybody in the group, my relational map. All right? See how that works, guys? First, second, third level. That's how the data is viewed on LinkedIn. Now, you can't really do that on Facebook, right? You and I can become friends on Facebook, but to get to see people who are friends of you, I'd have to go through all your friends, which is a little creepy, so we'll stay away from that. So let's just do the connection of connection of connection, all right? What's your name? Taylor. Give Taylor a round of applause. Taylor is the most important person in the room right now, and that's subjective. Anyway, so Taylor is what's considered a weak tie in a relational map, connection of a connection. So what I would want to do, what's your name? Sam. So Sam and I want to build a relationship based on 4 major affiliations. This is how I build a quality network. 4 major affiliations. Number 1, Sam and I connected because we're friends and family. Problem with connecting with friends and family is generally their networks aren't big enough to help you out, or they're not aligned with what you want to get into. So the second affiliation is university affiliation, TCU. Huge affiliation. Third affiliation, shared work experience. How many of you have interned or worked? You have people in those companies you can connect to, they're connected to other companies. You can utilize those relationships. Shared work experience, number 3. Number 4, volunteerism. Board work, committee work, causes. How many of you are in a student group? How many of those student groups are outside TCU, national? How many of them are international? Probably quite a few of them. Those are affiliations you can connect with to grow a quality network. So Sam and I, we connect on one of those major affiliations, those 4 major affiliations. Say we're TCU, Horned Frogs, right? All right. Is that what you do? Awesome. All right, I'm going to be doing that on the plane. Anyway, so Sam and I connect based on one of those major affiliations, say TCU, all right? And you're connected to her based on those same type of quality networks. If I asked you to introduce me to her, are you likely to do it? All right. If she asks you to connect with me based on your relationship, are you likely to complete that triangle? Yes. We found that 85% of job opportunities come out of here. Connection of a connection, weak tie. You can have 100 SAMs. There are 10,000 second-level connections out of that. It's an amplification of network. Now, what's your name? Megan, I'm so sorry because you're not as important during this, but give her a round of applause anyway. Megan is a 3rd-level connection. So once you get out that part, it gets a little diffuse because you don't really have any of the commonality in between. So we really want to focus on 1st and 2nd-level connections and then group. And group I'll get into in a bit. But if we build our network based on those things, then I can start to dig into LinkedIn to identify those people I want to connect to. So I'm going to come up here to advanced. You guys all have this on your profile, all the way up in the right-hand corner. If I click on it, it takes me to the advanced search category. So I can come down here and I can go to title, CEO. Let's only look at current CEOs. And they're beta testing something on me, so I got to fix something in a second. Come down here and do a search. I'm going to come down here and add everyone, and for you, everyone will come up when you do the search. 833,000 CEOs in the US have a profile on LinkedIn. What is the common affiliation in this room? TCU, absolutely. One of the best universities in the world. So, if I pop down here, TCU. $628 CEOs. You guys were raising your hand enthusiastically. They're the people to follow. 628 CEOs that have a profile on LinkedIn. Name a city. Any city? Chicago. Those are all good cities, by the way. All right. The reason I think Chicago is, I remember the zip code. 60610. The only two zip codes I remember are 60601 and then Beverly Hills 90210. It's like literally the only two I can remember. But if I take this out, 50 miles, I now see the 11 CEOs that graduated from TCU that live in Chicago and how I relate to each one of them. Whoa, that's crazy. We just took 200 million people down to a level that could help every one of you out with an affiliation you all share by a geography you define. Think about how quickly we just did that. We did that in 20 seconds. This was the bastion of Fortune 50 companies 10, 15 years ago. They built databases like this, parse out this information at this level, because they had the money to do it. It's now in the hands of the individual. All of you guys can do what I just did, but it's about building that quality network. Now, I will tell you, there are two benchmarks that you want to hit on building a network. You want to connect with 30 people who are related to TCU, because that will make the next tool that I'm about to show you really effective. And you want to connect with 50 people overall, because that's where it starts to become really useful within LinkedIn. That's where you start to get that access into lead ties. Now, who's my Chicago guy? Who's Chicago? Who said Chicago?
Oh, I did.
What's your name?
Kyle.
Kyle, come on up here for a second, Kyle. Pick one of those two people. Kelly or Dan? Kelly?
Yes.
All right. So, if you were interested in going, and then she's got every C little title you can have. I can see that Kelly Buchanan, I can see her background summary. I can see her experience. Undergrad, TCU. You guys are all undergrads, right, for the most part?
Yes.
No, some of you aren't. Masters? Masters? MBA? Whatever. Masters. For those of you who are undergrads, we find that there's a particular connection back to campuses and undergrads. As you get into the master's, PhD, it's much more transactional. You guys love TCU as undergrads, right? Undergrad TCU. All right. I keep going down. I can see. Let's see if she's in any groups related to TCU. She's not. Terrence, you guys got to work on that.
I know.
All right, good. I come up here, and I can see Karen Allen connects me. Karen Allen works at Northwestern. She and I have been working together for years. I've known her, helped her out. I've given workshops on LinkedIn on her campus. If I were to pick up the phone and give Karen a call and say, hey, will you introduce me to what's the lady working on that? Kelly Buchanan, would you do it?
Yes.
Do you think she would do it? Right? So you can use this information to connect into her. Yeah, there you go. So, I use the relationship to get into her. The additional thing I have, look at the data that's on Kelly's profile. Let's go up to the top and see the information that's here. If I pop up, I've got her name, I've got her title, I've got where she lives, I've got her past work experience, the industries that she's in. If I do a Google search with that information in, do you think I'd find a phone number for her or her company? Absolutely. All right. What's the most effective way to communicate with somebody? Face to face. What's the second most effective way to communicate with somebody? Phone to phone. What's the least effective way to communicate with somebody? Technology. All right? I work at LinkedIn. I work at a social media company. I'm telling you, take this offline.